Beast of Chaos. It was
So nothing important.
Really juicy stuff.
Yeah, none of the good stuff.
Okay, I think. I'm gonna hit refresh here and see if it's working again. We should be back on, I think. Yeah.
Hello, world.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with our internet, but it takes down everything on this computer. So when it goes.
All right, so we're going through endless spells. So far, we have an auto win for gifts. Good line choice there.
Yeah.
And
on a 3.
an anti-horde, Beast of Chaos.
No. But the anti-horde also turns into summoning points.
Summoning points. Got it.
That's what would be awesome. A great goat meat maker, goat meat grinder. I don't know, something awesome.
Miles?
I'd have to come up with it.
I was thinking as a spell for Seraphon, it would be cool to have like a summoning pool where it's a high cast and you get a free unit of skinks if you sacrifice one of your spells every turn or something like that. Or maybe there's a chance to summon something more spicy. I was thinking free unit of skinks is not game breaking, but it'd be on the order of endless spells.
So the spell itself puts out the units.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Or
So
it's the thing.
It's not endless spells, it's endless skinks.
Endless skinks, yeah.
Endless skinks. Okay.
It's called Skink Tide.
Skink Tide?
Skink Tide. Love it.
But yeah, I also like the idea of a KO non-endless spell.
Telling you, man, a nuke.
Just like a dwarf riding a giant bomb from the sky.
Hey, there we go. Like Doctor Strangelove kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. They missed the ball there.
Right. Someone on the internet, go convert us up one and tweet us the picture.
All right, I can go because Tom's got one he wants to save, right?
Oh no! I don't want to overhype mine.
Well now it's overhyped. I'm gonna go.
It's already been done.
So I love the look of the giant Lord of Change head that's the Tzeentch Endless spell. And I'm messing around with it because it's got more than 24-inch range. But I'm going to replace that spell with what it should have been to actually make it good for the faction that should have good spells instead of just damage at range.
Well, first you went terrain, then you went in the spells.
Yeah, good point. So what I like about Geminids, like the -1 to hit is gravy, but a lot of what I like is it's more than 24-inch range and it affects multiple targets. And so it punishes opponents for clumping up, and so positioning matters against it, and you can cast it from turn 1. So I'm going to take the Tzeentch Changehead spell. It's going to be 40 points instead of 50. It is going to start within 12 and move up to 12. And then what it does is it does D3 mortals or maybe it moves 9. It starts within 12 and it moves 9. And it does D3 mortals to everything within 6 inches. Oh, I'm getting an echo.
Yeah, me too.
Weird.
Probably Ricky's fault.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Oh God.
There's two mats in there. Is one of the mats doing it? Yeah. Okay. I think he muted himself. Go on.
All right. So D3 mortals and pushes everything back either 3 inches or D6 inches. But basically like an endless spell Wind Blast that goes up, it can hit stuff turn 1, and it moves everything directly away from it, which would be cool because then in the predatory mode, in subsequent turns, like whoever's moving it, and then you're moving everything away from it, whatever angle that it be. So you could use it to move stuff a little bit sideways, a little bit forward, a little bit back. It does like a minimal amount of damage, but in a burst, it just sort of shifts everything out. It could break up combats.
That's cool.
Maybe it'd be 50 points the more I think about it, but yeah. Wind blast tornado kind of thing.
Nice.
That would be actually really cool. Sorry about that, guys.
There was 2 of you. We were wondering if the universe had imploded.
No, just me.
Okay.
The implosion is all me. So selfish in my implosions.
All right, Tom, what's your amazing idea? I think I'm expecting it to be better than that. I mean, it better be.
All right. Well, so the idea of my spell is just to have a spell whose sole role in the meta is to keep the rest of the endless spell game in check, right? So you have a spell that's basically called like the Spell Eater or something like that, and it comes out and it just moves around, chomping down all of the other endless spells, and it's priced and the casting are such that it's not gonna be great most of the time. But if the endless spell meta ever gets to a point where, there's an army doing really well with 4 or 5 wall endless spells or 4 or 5 things, you have this one way to just put something out and eat all of those, so it kind of just helps keep the whole endless spell game in check.
Could they eat them all at once?
Yeah, exactly. It can it moves some quite large distance, so you can snake it around, just chomping down all of the other spells that it goes over or goes near or whatever.
But do you get something when it does it?
um,
Because I think you should. Because otherwise, like a lot of endless spells, you're fine if they've been removed once they've already done their hit.
No, but I think the specific thing I'm trying to fix is the problem of there's some, or at times in the game, there's been some lists who will use spells to just kind of wall out the opposing army, right? So you're putting down spells to control space and keep the other army from really moving anywhere, and it's
because you have so many.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So old change hosts used to do this. You would put down just all of the wall spells and block in an army. So then you pull out your Spell Eater and it just runs over them all, freeing up your whole army. And like I said, it's not supposed to be great most of the time, but if that kind of problem ever comes back, then it's the silver bullet for that.
Yeah, there's
Cool.
some great players that do that around here. Jason
Ricky.
Carey from Victoria's Secret. Well, we can't just plug Ricky. He's already Jeez.
No, I was giving him. I wasn't trying to plug him.
Well, no, he's just got Scuttle, whatever it is. And Scuttle's
Yeah, well, you can get the Prismatic Palisade as well.
Yeah, Palisade is pretty nice. But Ricky's the Geminids person.
But yeah, I did see. What was Carrie's trick with? She took the Night Hunt guy and put him behind a wall so you can't get him.
Yeah, it was brilliant. I was like, ooh.
Oh yeah, in the corner of the board with the palisade in front of it, so you can't see him or snipe him, and then she just ports him out when she wants him.
Well, I loved it. I was like, how dare you?
What was the point of that? She did that to me, and I didn't really get it.
She did it to me too, and it didn't really do anything because it just took that character out of the game for a while. And
well, why is she doing it? What's the shtick?
I think because she was getting shot.
She
was playing against Jack a lot, and Jack kept shooting it, and so she was finding a way to keep it alive. Maybe.
No, it's the redeploy. I think that guy gives redeploy, didn't it?
Well, that guy.
So the idea is to hold him back until you need him, so that then you can redeploy something else.
Yeah.
He can teleport at any time, and if it's a Night Hunt, take something with him, or if it's a Legion of Grief, he can teleport and then summon if you've put a grave in your opponent's zone. So your priority is keeping that guy alive until turn 3 or 4 when you need him.
Yeah, and it's brilliant because he's off in the corner, especially on missions that don't have objectives further out. That's just a brilliant little thing.
Yeah.
But we do have a sort of Spell Eater, not anything that extreme. That would be awesome to see. In Maelstrom. Because it is so hard to dispel. I know I bring it all the time. I can just never roll an 8 unless I need to be rolling 9s. So, but it would be interesting to see that. What kind of model would you go for that? There's the question.
Yeah, that is. It would, in my mind, it's like some kind of Jaws, like the Ravenak Jaws, but I don't know what it would look like.
I feel like it would have to be derpy.
Yeah, maybe Jaws with little crushed bits of all the other spells, in its jaws, like a bit of a pendulum just sticking out its mouth.
That would be like a perfect Nerval one.
I just want it to be a rules lawyer standing there with the book and some nerdy glasses.
Summon rules lawyer.
I'll take it.
So, Ricky, I did what you said about trying to do some more washes and stuff to break up the white on the hammerhead.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure I ended up with a toothbrush with some Colgate on it.
Ooh. Well, that's clearly operator error. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's important to have good dental hygiene, especially in the 8 points.
Yeah. This is Archeon's toothbrusher. No, Drogar's toothbrusher. All right. So it's 4 o'clock. Do we want to keep going or stop?
Oh yeah, keep going.
Keep going.
Okay. So I got a
Well,
painting question first.
Are all of the Adepticon at home
Go ahead.
people supposed to switch over to watch someone else right now?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, we
they
can keep going.
I guess they can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they can just come back and watch the rest of this some other time.
All right. Who has the coolest mounts?
Coolest mounts?
Mounts, yeah. And I'm going to go AFK for a minute while people answer.
Sure. I like those. Was it the cat riders that the Stormcast have?
Those are cool.
I really like those.
Which ones?
Not the cat ones.
Dracolines.
There we go.
Dracolines.
The kitties.
Yeah.
Still don't have no kids.
I think squigs are clearly the right answer here.
Well, I mean,
So
squids and
predictable.
everything.
So predictable.
I like the Griff Chargers for their rules, but I think my favorite mounts have to be a shark that you get to ride, so an Aliflex.
Agreed. That is mine too.
Yeah, the
What-
shark is pretty badass.
What is possibly cooler than riding a shark?
Or the turtle.
Riding
The
two
turtle is
sharks.
better.
Duh.
I know.
Mm.
Like a catamaran, like you're like
Yes.
one leg on one foot on each shark.
Yes.
Yeah. You're just Aquamaning it into battle.
If you already have the ability to ride a shark, you should already have the ability to ride two. And if you're not riding two, then you have majorly screwed up with all of your life choices with your abilities to ride sharks.
Too bad that the shark was out for lunch when they were handing out good rules in Ideneth writing stage.
It's funny because I hear back and forth about them. Some people swear by them and they do fairly decent, and others don't. And I don't really bother to go and check to where they actually place, so I just don't know.
I still
will
haven't
say they
played
are
against
getting
them
there
enough, so.
points wise. Go ahead, sorry.
They're getting to the point where even though they're so bad, they're starting to get cheap enough where it doesn't matter.
Exactly. Give me every opportunity that there's been to reduce points, they have reduced the points,
Mhm.
and maybe give me one or two more iterations, and we'll be there.
What are we
Can they
talking
be
about?
made? Can they be made battle? That's the question.
They can't.
Yeah,
What are we talking about?
there. Just change the
Sharks.
battle.
Sharks.
Sharks. Are they still not good?
No, still not good.
Damn.
Well, we were just saying they're getting to the point where they're cheap enough that it doesn't matter if they're good or not.
Yeah.
But not
All right.
quite there yet.
If they're not
Okay,
battle
so,
line, then it doesn't matter.
In honor
They'll
of
never
it
be
being
cheap.
6 o'clock at Adepticon, I'm going to have some of this, and it's really good if anyone wants to try it. Not that you can try mine, but I recommend it. Got it from
Okay.
online.
Nice.
I did an awesome search before I got delivery from Total Wine. You can go to their site and just be like, what is in this price range above X rating? And then I got one of those things.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. So, cheers, Adepticon.
Cheers. I'm dry already. Maybe I'll have to go top up.
Oh, you beat me to it. I guess it's 7 there.
Yeah, Bevan has. Then.
You're going to be parched.
Yeah.
How are
It's
we doing on
very-
mounts?
It's a very exciting day for me there, Matt, because today is the day we reintroduce gluten. From
Oh,
Oh, Joey.
And what are you celebrating with?
Hey.
Well, this is just what was in the thing, because I haven't cut out. This is a Deschutes Wowza low-cal hazy pale ale, keeping with the diet theme,
Okay.
you know.
low-cal, yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, only 4 carbs.
That's incredibly low-cal for a beer.
Wait, you're
Yeah,
saying
for a
four,
beer.
Not.
4 calories?
No, 4 carbs.
4 grams of
Or
carbs.
4
Uh,
grams of carbs?
Is it decent? Because I can get that.
Yeah, it's not bad.
All right.
It's not bad.
I'm not too
I mean, This one's been
I'm
in there
hipster
for
enough
like
to
a month and a
enjoy a
half.
good-
So,
hazy pale ale.
yeah.
You know what? We've been on low carb for so long that I still have all the beer in the fridge from last summer. And if it wasn't for the pending apocalypse, I would probably have tossed it all by now. But I might need those calories later on.
No, exactly. You can survive on beer for at least a day.
One day.
Right. I don't know. You always
So
said there's
what mount
stories
for
in-
winners?
Two of us have said shark, so
Sharks.
shark
All
is
right.
clear winner.
I like the half cat, half bird things that the Stormcast get to ride. Aren't they? Don't they have bird faces?
Yeah, that was my first choice, Griff Charger.
Mm.
But Aliplex clearly.
But those
won
are not
everything.
cat at all.
They're not cat. I get
Yeah,
all
they
those
are. They're
Stormcast
part
random
kitty.
monsters confused.
They're part kitty.
Are they? The
Yeah,
Griff
their back feet are
Chargers?
kitties.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
the ones
wait,
that the
no, no,
Crushers
they're
are
back
on. The Crushers are the ones with the dogs, right? They're half alligator, half dog.
The Crusher.
No. I don't. All that Stormcast nonsense. You know, no one ever plays it, and then I don't know what they're called, and I sound like an idiot on stream.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. The alligator dogs. I know what you're talking about.
Drake?
Yeah.
Dracovs?
No, I knew what
Not the
Drake
Draco
was.
Lions. Yeah,
No,
no, I
Drake-
Dracos. The
Yeah,
little mini
Dracos.
dragons. Yeah, Dracos.
Yeah, you remember Mike
Yeah.
Kosu's?
There we go.
Yeah, they're
Custard.
alligator
That's-
dogs.
Yeah.
What?
Alligator dog. That's what he said.
All right, if you insist.
All right, so mine is actually an 8-bed model. I still don't think that anyone has beaten the Dark Elf Cold ones.
Pretty good.
The
I
OG
just think that they're the best
Godzilla
dinosaurs.
1998 ones?
What? No,
Godzilla
no.
1998
No,
ones?
those are fugly. We're talking about the 8-bed Dark Elf ones.
Yeah, 1998 Godzilla ones.
Are you saying the models came out in 98 or the Godzilla is from 98?
No, the
No, they look
Matthew
like,
Broderick Godzilla from 1990.
yeah, they look
Oh.
exactly like the 1998 Godzilla.
Okay, I'm
If
going to
you
Google
look at
that.
them, compare
I
them.
don't know movies. I'm going to Google that
It's
now.
a real weird Godzilla look.
Yeah,
It was a weird.
it doesn't
one
look like
for me.
Godzilla at all.
Not that like Godzilla is the most tightly coherent franchise in terms of character design, but
Don't you be hating on my Godzilla.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Yes,
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah,
Why
'cause
does that not look like it's Godzilla? I think that may be the only one I've seen.
yeah,
That look-
no, I don't know. Godzilla's taller. That one he looked like a giant velociraptor.
Ah,
no,
that's
it
what they
looks-
look like, giant
Yeah.
velociraptors.
Godzilla
Yeah.
stuff.
That's
If-
all I want to mount.
If you were a child and drew a T-Rex,
Yeah.
that's what Godzilla looks like. Right,
What's the
just sort of
problem?
like a big triangle with a head and like derpy arms down to the side.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
you're saying these are
Right.
too like
You
low
were
to the
just-
ground and
Just
Right, but like if you were to oversimplify Godzilla, he's basically a giant triangle with a head sticking out and like little arms.
And this guy isn't? Oh man, this is a pretty great image of Godzilla crossing a bridge. It looks somewhere between that halfway between like that triangle and Alien. Yeah, I love it. Is this? I like the bad
I'm
one
so
apparently. Is
confused.
that what we're finding out?
I don't know what's happening.
It looks like a
I'm-
Dark Elf Cold one. So what's not
Yeah,
to like?
right. What's not to
Right.
like? Best mount.
While we're talking about giant lizards, the Carnosaur is pretty beautiful.
He's pretty
I
good.
agree. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my second choice. It's all about riding dinosaurs.
Yeah. But
The only
Carnosaur
dinosaur that-
specifically-
I don't like. I don't like the Bastillodon model.
Really?
It's an
I like it with the
Arc.
Arcosotec, but I don't like the laser gun Bastillodon. I want to like it, but I don't.
I think there's a couple of options in that box that make a really big distinction whether it looks good or not. Like, there's one kind of little derpy head plate and another where you have like big horns down to the ground, kind of. And I think with the right option selected, it looks really cool.
Okay.
There we go. I posted
Anyway.
a picture of Godzilla in our chat so we can. Like he's basically a big triangle.
That's
The
what
head
he's supposed to look like. I
yeah,
see.
and that one is kind of a funky departure.
Yeah, he's a little tubbier in this one.
Yeah, he's definitely a little tubby.
Yeah, okay. I like Giant Velociraptor. I'm all on board for Giant Velociraptor.
Yeah.
Well, it's
I mean,
funny because the older cold ones actually look like velociraptors. The newer ones look more like Godzilla. And so it's really confusing.
What? Wait, which ones are you saying are the older ones?
The older ones are the older metal ones that.
So the old
both
metal ones
Saurus
are like low to
and-
the ground that look like cows.
What?
Yeah,
Or the
like,
low to the
Those are
ground
Godzilla
cow cold
cows.
ones.
they're all like perfectly straight and low.
Yeah, the old cold ones are like cow dinosaurs. Are we talking about different models? I'm just making sure we're talking about the same model because velociraptors are life. I don't know if I pronounce that word, but they are.
So So the original cold ones, the
OG
ones that I
Cold.
remember is the OG cold ones. They had tiny little arms, right?
Yeah.
Little tiny
I'm
little
looking
arms.
at him on an old dark elf chariot. Yeah, I know. We're talking about the same models. We just have very different impressions of them.
That's fair.
I'm done. I can't figure it out.
All right, next question. What is the most cost-efficient army that could legitimately win a 2-day tournament?
Whew, not beasts.
Oh, like cost efficient as in real money?
Yep.
Beast Claw Raiders,
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, Stonehorns.
they're good. I don't know,
Yeah,
but I mean,
hands
2
down.
days is a tough. It's a tough bar.
All right.
They're strong, and they're definitely really Flesh Eater Courts, right?
Yeah, that's what I was assuming people would
3
say.
start collecting boxes. I was thinking also, Beast Claw Raiders, 3 start collecting boxes, and you're done.
Yeah.
Is that true for Flesh Eater Courts too?
I think
Pretty much.
probably also true.
So Madeline's thought was, and I think this is interesting because I think it might not be true, but it feels like it would, is something like Cities of Sigmar, where you're getting a bunch of the old stuff off eBay.
Ooh.
But unlike other games, it feels like old stuff, like once it gets old enough, actually goes up in price because
Oh, yeah.
there's so many people that are nostalgic in this game that the rarity factor makes stuff more expensive over time.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, as long as
At
it's
least
still
some stuff.
if it's still in production by GW, then the price doesn't really vary very much because it has to just be slightly cheaper than MSRP for it to sell on eBay. It only really changes when it's not in production by GW anymore.
Well,
like
it
Yeah.
also depends on the model quality, right? Like old dark shards are not anywhere as expensive as new dark shards because the old ones are.
Oh, I see. So like older models for. I see.
Yeah,
Right, but
that's
if-
so it's like Cities of Sigmar with all the old derpy models.
But if they came out with a new Cities of Sigmar book and Dark Shards are no longer in it, all of a sudden those Dark Shards would be super duper cheap, and
Right.
then they'd go back to being super expensive because
Then they come
become
out again
rare.
5 years later.
Prepare for models being burnt video if they release a new Cities of Sigmar with no dark shards in it.
Yeah,
Yeah, but think of
Like,
it.
that's what I've been working on for years. Are you using the new dark shards or the old ones?
They're the new ones. I really love these new models.
There was the first I have like 30 or 40 of the old ones, so I never bought any of the new ones. But they're nice.
The new ones. Yeah, they're really cool.
I think I kit bashed some into being cultists for 40k at some point. I remember liking them.
Definitely cooler than new cowhead elves.
All right. So speaking of army burning, this might be too inflammatory. Let me skip it if people want. But what would make you quit playing the game?
It wasn't fun anymore. What do you mean? Yeah. If it wasn't fun anymore, stop being fun.
Well, okay. I guess that's fine as an
Yeah.
answer.
So I think. Okay, so here's one that would absolutely push me away from it, and it's pretty much why I stopped playing 40k. Is the disjointed rule system and releases. So like when they stopped doing all the crazy releases for like Realm Gate Wars and all that, and started honing in on crafting like books to make the game relatively, if not fairly well balanced, AOS really picked up, and it was a lot more fun. But my biggest, when that what's it called? The new book that was just released for Slaves to Darkness, essentially.
Yeah.
When they released that, I don't know about anybody else, but like a giant red flag went up for me. Like thinking this is not a good road to go down. If you guys are just going to start doing campaign books to patch armies, like
Yeah, definitely
like
don't want
Nurgle is in a
campaign
roll.
books.
Yeah, Nurgle is in a rough spot right now, right? And the one thing that book focuses very, very heavily on is Nurgle, and Slanesh to a degree as well. And both of those armies suffer from, well, Slanesh suffers from not really having a large variation of models, and Nurgle just suffers from being an incredibly old book by the rest of the book standards, right?
So you're talking about Wrath of the Everchosen, not the Slaves to Darkness.
Yes. Well,
Yeah,
the new
got
Slaves to Darkness, Wrath of the Everchosen.
Got it.
Because it's essentially a Wrath of the Everchosen. It's essentially a Slaves to Darkness add-on book. And
I mean,
for the
all my
rules,
stuff focuses on demon armies, so more of the book is about demons,
no,
right?
no, it's not.
Hmm.
It's
It looked to me
builds-
like it was mostly demons.
I
Which is
understand.
why
you-
there's one
Yeah, I
demon,
get the
there's one
point,
demon
yeah.
build for it, and then there's one build, or there's one demon build, and then the rest is just like pure monogod force builds. You can build for a demon specifically. Excuse me.
Well, let me put it this way: they're not for Slaves to Darkness models. Like if you look at the 4 Nurgle armies, they're for Blight Kings, they're for drones, they're for demons, and they're for Blight Kings again or something.
I
Yes.
think the point is that it's a campaign book
Yeah.
that just added a bunch of new match play rules, right? And that is the main thing that 40k players have been complaining about recently, just this constant drip of books they have to stay on top of because it's really relevant for...
That totally makes sense. I get that
Yeah.
part. I'm embittered about the Slaves to Darkness point because all I wanted out of that book was some way to make knights and warriors good, and it didn't happen.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
But yeah, okay, good point taken. That's a good
Like that would
Anyone
make
else?
me quit the game.
I would say for me, it would be an easy out if GW went back to 8th edition levels of engagement and FAQ rating, because back then we just had to deal with broken books for like 8 years, and now that I've sampled the twice a year update system, I would not want to go back to that.
But they've set a precedent. Do you think they'd honestly go back?
No, I don't, but we're imagining things that would make us
Oh,
drop the game.
I think for me it would be, if a better game got a similar market share. Like, because I think I'm always going to play a war game. I really enjoy it. I really inherently enjoy the physical war game, and I think that I'm going to play whatever I feel like is, or whatever the group we play with feels like is the best war game that has a reasonable market share.
That's true. I mean, if War Machine was still really, really good, I could be talked into it. I don't know.
But I still wouldn't do that if the rest of the group didn't. Because the only reason I stopped playing Malifaux is because the rest of the group didn't want to play Malifaux, right? So it's a social thing, right? Like it's a combination of what's available in the market and what is your social group. What can they align to?
And my caveat of War Machine is that, like, if War Machine was having monthly tournaments at 3 different locations and had as big a scene and had fun ITC events to go to and all that stuff, then all right, I could be talked into it.
Yeah, I still think I play War Machine, but I get the general point.
you never talked me into that game.
Fair enough.
I find that game inherently stressful because the concept of your leader dying the game ends.
So it's funny because I don't even get to the points of the rules. Like the design aesthetic of that entire game is just disgusting to me.
What?
It's
Strong words.
Warjacks are stupid, and like.
Oh man, Kador forever.
Have you seen?
Why are Warjacks stupid but Dreadnoughts not?
Dreadnoughts are also stupid.
Yeah, Dreadnoughts are stupid.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's alright. I love Dreadnoughts, but they're not smart. They're not as smart as.
No, I love Dreadnoughts as well, but they're definitely. I'm in agreement there. But no, like Warjacks look like a cartoon version of a Dreadnought to me. The aesthetics of that entire range just looks goofy, and then the fact that it's all like they had a chance for a while to move over to plastic or at least something, but they decided to stay with metals.
Well, that I agree with. It is extremely odd that those are all still metals.
I refuse to put together one of those derpy ass looking models while it's derping all over the place.
Whoa! It's at least 50% resin.
I'm sorry, it's 90% derp.
Oh, okay. So that would make me quit. Is if GW decided we're out of plastic, we're going back to metals.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, that would make
Because
me
Those are unfortunate to put together. What about you, Ricky?
Overly complex list building. I don't.
Mm,
I like how
Yeah.
simple it is right now.
you hate my joy.
Yeah, if it gets
You've
too
always hated my joy.
complicated, I would want to drop. I just, or I would just at least want to play competitively because I don't like going back. The idea of going back to where we had to spend hours writing lists.
What constitutes overly complex? Let me give you an example. Let's say they just release a list of artifacts that are now like point artifacts. You can like tool up your characters with all these different levels of pointed artifacts. Is that too much?
I don't think that's too much. I think it's like if we got. For me, it was like Swedish, like.
Oh, community stuff.
Yeah, and I was almost if 8th edition kept going like it was to where it was Swedish everywhere, I probably would have stopped competitive play because I just didn't like it. So if it ever got to that point, I'd probably tap out, but I don't see that happening, so I think I'm okay.
I find the points cost on different weapons in 40k to be kind of a turnoff. Like having to worry about like the one like does my sergeant have a pistol? Like I don't know. Does he?
I do miss being able to pay for artifacts because I don't mind them all being the same cost. I just wish that I could pay 50 points for an artifact rather than only being able to have access to battalions.
Yeah. See, but I like that limitation. I feel like that forces even more nuanced list building because you can't tailor make something down to like the nth degree, right? Yeah. So that means you have to really, really agonize over the choice that you're going to put in the list. Like,
I think it constrains list building because you only ever have a second artifact choice if you take a battalion, and because of how the new books work, you only have a first artifact choice if you take a battalion. Because everything in the new books has a sub-faction, and so I don't pick any artifacts unless I have a battalion.
But that's what makes that list building so much more interesting and agonizing, is because you're forced to make those choices. If you're just like, oh yeah, well I can take this and I can take that. Okay, well I'm going to build the perfect combo. La, 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 la. Like it becomes a game about building your list instead of playing. Playing becomes secondary, and that's folding back into that same point that I was making earlier about too many choices, too many things going on with the additions of new books. Because 40k already had that rules base. With the ability to do that, it just became a shit show. And I'd be worried about any of that happening. The day that they started saying, okay, well, you've got 3 points per sphere for something, right?
Well, that's an extreme, though. Like, that's going back to the old. Like, I think my issue is they have changed the new books in a way that the game did not use. You used to, everybody picked one artifact. And now, one artifact is picked for you, which means the only way to get to pick any artifacts is via a battalion.
Well, I would really like. I would love if they tackled that by making some of the generic artifacts and command traits in your book like so powerful that it's really a choice as to whether you want to take a sub-faction at all anymore, because they just haven't got that opportunity cost point right at all. In like
they haven't gotten that opportunity, and that's why I was saying yeah, technically you cannot take it, but for most books, that's a terrible decision.
The no skyports for some people is pretty good.
That's true. Yeah, I like no skyports for some people.
Most books
can do Beast can do an incredible build with that, and I was using that for a little while, and then I just started feeling bad about having ethereal amulet
builds.
Sylvaneth have the ability to do it as well. There are a bunch of sub-faction stuff that you can do.
There are some books where that's true. Most books that doesn't make sense in. I just want, even if it was you could just pay for one artifact for 50 points, right? Like I just feel like I'm missing that level of customization.
But
I think it's swung too far.
That's why it's a good thing.
No, I'm missing it doesn't inherently make it a good thing. I'm saying the pendulum has swung too far. You're right that you can go too far down the customization rabbit hole, but I'm saying it's too far in the other direction right now for me.
I mean, there's definitely places we can go between where we are now and 40k.
Well,
Right.
I think I would agree with you, Beasley, that we're probably too far right now, in the other direction. Like there are certain books where it just feels like you play this one thing and that's it. Um, but I also don't want to have to swing back the other direction too much because that's just too much mind space constantly to try and capture.
I think it's totally reasonable to worry about the creep. I get that. I get worrying about the creep. That makes sense. And I get that it's better to be too far in this direction than the other direction. I get that too.
Yeah. It's the same with like comp and we've had those conversations before where it's like I'd much rather there be no comp on something and let it be a little bit more Wild West because the minute somebody clamps down on something, there's an unforeseen change somewhere else, right? So, but that's all.
See, I think that the difference, and I get that other people didn't, and I'd rather Ricky play the game than have Swedish. But I love Swedish. It brought me so much joy. That was hours and hours. I remember driving 4.5 hours to a tournament back and forth and just building Swedish lists the entire time. And I can't think of a better thing to do.
Oh, that sounds like hell.
Yeah, it really does.
All right. What army has your favorite lore?
Ooh.
It's rough.
There's a lot of cool ones.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna have to go with the poster boys, to be honest. Stormcast are so dark. Like, I really love the unending doom that they're kind of in. Like, it's kind of hilarious how they got compared to Space Marines when they first came out. They're the poster boys and everything, but there is nothing that isn't like doom and gloom. They are like the ultimate grimdark. Like, they're dead. They're still just people that have been forced back in pseudo against their will, if you kind of think about it, to just fight until their entirety of their soul is just gone. Like, how fucking heavy metal is that? That is the most heavy metal thing ever.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
They're cool.
I'm gonna go with the one-man army and say Go Trek.
Go Trek.
True.
He does have some very cool fluff.
What's his lore? I don't know anything
I
about it.
don't know how he came back.
He
How he
willed
came
himself back into existence.
Are you serious?
Like Chuck Norris?
Yeah, he was so not done with everything. He was just like, "Fuck this, I'm back."
Only Go Trek.
Actually, don't quote me on that. I just. Tom,
I mean,
do you actually know?
The only way
Why
he
did
can
you
die
say
is
that, Ricky?
the only way he can die is being bested in combat. So the end of the world isn't going to stop him. That's for sure.
That's true.
Yeah.
What made you say it was your favorite lore, Ricky?
He's like, if you listen to the audiobooks, he's just really fun.
Those audiobooks are so good. He's so
There's
belligerent.
audiobooks.
Yeah.
Are they actually good?
Yeah.
So grumpy and belligerent.
Yeah, he's pretty
They're
good.
good, huh? Okay,
Yeah.
well, I should add them to the list then. Are
I
they
don't know.
super dark?
Some of them.
Some of them are like,
Can be.
Are they
but he's
like?
just
What's the
like,
one that's going to make me least annoyed about it being unnecessarily dark and grimtastic?
I don't
I
know.
love
What's the
the one-
most lighthearted of the Sigmar audiobooks?
I like the ones that are voice acted. The like mini plays with Brian Blessed doing Go Trek's voice.
Yeah, he's fun when he does his voice.
Those are really good.
Brian Blessed Go Trek books? Okay, so there's
Yeah,
a number
I
of
think
these.
The first one is
subgenre.
Realm Slayer, I think.
I feel like I listened to a section of that, and it was like it was right when he encounters the Fire Slayers, and they're like,
Yeah, and he just bites the guy's nose off.
yeah, right. And
Why would he
They're
do
like,
that?
he's like, well,
The guy has
you
a
guys-
family. He needs to smell things. How's he going to cook for them?
but it was like Gotrek was just so belligerent the whole time. He was like, you guys are dwarfs,
Yeah, right.
and they're like, fuck you harder. Like,
Because he's like, what do you like? He thinks they're using magic, so he's pissed with them because they have all like glowing runes and flamey hair.
Was that like Snorri or somebody?
And they're like, technically, it's not magic.
Exactly.
He's like, that sounds like an elven distinction.
Like,
I think
you
that's
can't
fair.
dispel this, so it's not magic.
Go try.
Yeah. All right. Anyone else?
I was pretty. I like the city's lore. I thought, you know, it was obviously an attempt just to like shoehorn a bunch of old models into the game. So I thought it was gonna kind of read overly forced in that way. But actually, I liked the lore quite a lot. The way they, the storm.
Go for it. Sorry.
No, go on. Sorry.
I didn't finish the reading that book, but did they ever cover why everybody wears German hats and pantaloons?
This I want to know.
They did not cover that.
There is no Bavaria in the mortal realms. I looked at the map.
Right. No, that's
I actually
definitely
agree.
definitely
That's
not
my favorite.
addressed.
Because I love the 1,000 points of light aesthetic. Just the like lights in the dark aesthetic.
Oh, what?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What did you say?
Well, so D&D 4th Ed, the whole theme of it from a like RP perspective was 1,000 points of light, and it's like the world is a dark place. Sure, the world is monstrous and lots of fighting and combat.
Right. But there's
But
these
these
few great
towns-
bastions standing against
Yeah.
the darkness.
And those are the 1,000 points of light, all the towns, all the bastions, and it lets you incorporate why you have these like, I mean, it's basically like 1,000, 1,000 white towers, or like 1,000
Mhm.
outposts of humanity and good, right? And it allows you to be hopeful in a broader dark world. That like because of all the stuff we play in the world, because of like all the other stuff in the world, it's got to be a pretty dark world. But it gives you this ability to be like, and there's this shining example, and I really enjoyed that. It was nice.
Yeah, there are these towns where people can have what more or less looks like a normalish kind of life. They have to have armies to fight the hordes when they show up, but a lot of people there just kind of get on with life, and that was something that was missing from AOS. It was just like it was kind of like 40k, right? There's only war everywhere. So it was nice to see just like what kind of normal life can people have
Yeah, I feel
while wearing pantaloons.
I feel like Warcry did that same thing a lot for the chaos side. Like,
Yeah.
people must live
Yeah.
there. They must have sandwiches and stuff or whatever they do in their free time.
Yeah, but that one was so sad because they were all basically like they're like, man, the world sure sucks and is awful. I guess it makes sense even if you're a reasonable person to just go out and murder people randomly. And you're like,
That's
yeah,
true.
I mean, you're not wrong, but
Well, I think the Warcry people are an extreme. Obviously, and they're set as an extreme, but they're like even outside of the cities, life goes on. Most of the realms are controlled by chaos.
Yeah.
Most of the realms.
Right.
And like people still live there, and they're still doing stuff, and this is what happens to some of them.
What I loved about the city's lore and book as well is kind of how open-ended it is. It's explicitly like, here's rules and fluff about 6 cities. This is a small fraction of all of the cities, so both lore-wise and even army-wise, you can imagine like a city's part 2 supplement comes out with just 6 more cities, and then you've got a bunch of new ways to play.
It would have been nice. It would have been nice if they gave you the ability to kind of piece together a city in the book itself, instead of just, okay, you've got, how many is it, 5 or something?
6.
6.
There's 6.
Oh yeah, I always forget about pirates.
I think there's 6 for most of the sub-factions, oddly.
I mean, it makes sense. Except
It's a good amount of variety without
which
giving
are
you choice
3.
paralysis.
Actually, Gits and Beasts are really the only ones that don't have the sub-factions, right? Who else doesn't have sub?
Gits
Nurgle's
had sub-factions without having sub-factions, though, because there's such distinct model line for different things. Like, there's squigs. You could play all squigs. You don't necessarily have to, but you could play all squigs. Or there's trogs. You could play all trogs, but you don't have to. So, like, there's... I think there is sub-faction there. It's just not as in
You
your
don't have it
face.
in the rules, and so
Yeah.
you don't have like the artifact, command trait
Yeah,
model.
and
I guess Skaven's like that too.
and that's why
Yeah, that's
kits are
true.
the best.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I thought Skaven has really hard.
Yeah, they have a couple of hard.
But they don't really work like sub-factions.
It's not a sub-faction, it's just like if your army is all these things, then you get to take whatever as your core, as your battle line.
Yeah.
I guess the amount of models that they have to work with is much larger than Gits. Then it must be.
What?
I mean, it definitely is.
Skaven?
The number of models in Skaven is ridiculous.
I actually think it's pretty close.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's quite a bit in Gits that I still haven't even got to yet. So
All right, next question is display board tips. One display board tip.
Make them.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't not make it.
bigger is better.
Magnetize it.
Ooh.
Know how you'll travel with it.
That's how it's, yeah.
I mean, if
Do
you're
it in a way you can travel with it.
yeah.
Just make sure you know how you're gonna get it wherever you need to go. Because
If it's not going to be two-dimensional, I think mine is, if it's not going to be two-dimensional, make it assemblable.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting ready to work on mine.
Mine is the terrain magnets on. Like there's a two-dimensional board with textures and paint and stuff, and then the terrain magnets on.
Nice.
And that mainly has happened because I've seen Ricky pay, like, I mean, he probably could have owned his own house by now, except he keeps going to tournaments with that display board. It's his avocado toast.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to have their
you see, the
avocado.
difference though, Matt, is I fly on an airline that doesn't charge me for that. So I still was flying cheaper than you in the end.
I have this cool picture frame that I got to make mine out of for KO. I thought Ricky turned me onto that idea, and I think it's a good one. Although I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah, there's also the another thing that's easy to use as your base board is there's those wooden canvases. They're you go to an art supply store and it's actually like a wood. Looks like a canvas, but it's wood. You use those because they're light, and that's what the base of my cavern is one of those, just a big 2x2 of that, and then everything was glued onto the top of it.
Yeah, I use that because if you go to a good art store as well, you can just get so many different shapes and sizes. Well, shape is all square or rectangle, but you can get a lot of different sizes, so you can kind of optimize to what you want.
Yeah, if you want like an 18 by 24 or a 20 by something, you can kind of work with it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. In Boston, there was a much bigger presence of actual GW stores than we have out here, and so Armies on Parade was a much bigger deal. So we were always making 1x2 boards.
Is that what the requirement is?
Yeah, that was the standard for Armies on Parade.
There were 2x2s. I thought they were 2x2. Because mine was Armies on Parade.
Yeah, it might have been 2x2.
I think it was 2x2.
Is it 2x2?
I think so.
It was 1x2. Maybe I was the weird guy out one year.
1x2 is tiny.
Yeah, but you also didn't have to have a legal army on it.
Yeah, so. It was all just. I mean, you could literally just show up with a diorama, right?
Yeah, I have a friend who makes a diorama every year. And, usually doesn't finish it. It's up all night the night before trying to get everything finished.
So he's just trying to relive school, right?
Yeah.
When I was on the East Coast, that was actually incredibly normal at tournaments for people to be like going to a tournament and then painting models the night before. I always found it to be really odd, and I haven't really seen it with people out here. But like, we'll be up there till like 2 a.m. Like, I got to get this painted. I'm like, what the shit? Like this, you've had 4 months to prep for this. Why is the night before the right time?
You must have been missing it because last one we were at, basically, somebody was painting an endless spell just for the tournament right there, like right before we started. They're around. I swear there's one that happens at the tournament.
I mean, when I was younger and had fewer models physically done, I definitely pulled some late nighters before tournaments.
In the hotel, just taking them in and
Yeah, no, absolutely. A friend of mine does that at LVO over here. And he comes an extra day early so he can work on minis and. Good for
All
him.
right.
Yeah.
Well, but that's planned. Like, I'm coming a day early. I'm going to spend this time. Like, that's not really what I mean. I'm talking about the whole, like, you're a college freshman. You're doing the paper the night before. Except
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I definitely painted a whole Space Wolf army in 4 hours. To a technical 3-color minimum. They were not great.
All right, Swayboard tips. It was okay. What was your? Yeah. What is your favorite realm, including features and realm spells? And you can't say 8 points because screw you.
I see. I like Gur. I don't know, but Gur is also hard to play at because nobody has the extra monsters or wants to do that, which is fine. But I don't know. I like Wild Form. I think that's a fun signature spell. A lot of their realms capabilities are. There's one that does damage. There's the one that you fight. You do there's a combat phase again, which maybe we don't need to do that one. But I don't know. They have some other good spells in there. They're like none of them like strike me as like super broken, but there's a lot of good utility stuff in there. I think. I don't know, Matt. You probably pay more attention to the spells than I do.
Gur is a nice. Gur really benefits melee monsters that can cast. Things like keepers that have 2 casts and don't really need them all.
Okay.
There's a lot of self buffs.
Well, it makes sense from a thematic perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, till the end of the year, I'm obligated to like Gur, so I have to cast lots there as well.
I just want Haish or Olgu, just so I can empower my Geminids. That's all I care about.
Tom?
Wait, what is favorite?
Realm, based on spells and realm effects.
I don't really care about that stuff. I don't know. I'll tell you what, I would love to eventually at some point play an Azir, because then my Celestial Hurricanum gets +2 to cast.
Oh.
So give me rules for playing an Azir.
All right, mine is Light, which I guess is Haish now, because I really like the post-nerf banishment and like how it works. I feel like it's a hilarious trap. It's still really powerful, but it's really interesting. Like being able to banish something away and then your opponent gets to choose where it goes. It's just a super interesting dynamic.
I feel like all of them, we only get random ones on tournaments, and they're always kind of only half of them ever come into play. So I can't really like speak to one that I would say I enjoy more, really.
Well, it really, I mean, it depends on the TO, right? Because all of them have some reasonable features. And then, like, Shadow has a lot of stuff that's just ridiculously game-breaking. But most of them, it's just not that big a deal.
They all have at least one that's just like obnoxious, but like, what is it? Life has the no running unless you can fly. Light has it has fuzz protection, and -1 to hit in terrain.
I don't think that's obnoxious.
I find it obnoxious when comboed with fuzz protection, so everybody's -2 to hit. Well, somebody's -2 to hit in terrain.
You know, maybe bring a nice mixed arms list. It doesn't really stuff all the time. I don't know what I'm saying.
I refuse.
Right. Actually's got a. Oh, actually, no. Actually's not that bad. The one where you might take a mortal wound if you're a flyer and you move far. That's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Like it's not. That's not amazing, but it's not like it's not. You can't run.
Right. Yeah, you can't run. There's some that are just way too much. Absolutely.
No rend. That's one. That's Shaman.
All right. Here's a quick follow-up question. This is not on the list, but best guess: are casters pointed, assuming you are playing with realm spells, or no?
I don't think they got that far into it, honestly.
I think no.
Yeah.
I think probably not either.
I think they are not because, and the reason I think they're not is because the changeling's 120 points, and he's a double caster that has doesn't actually have 2 spells to cast. And I think that when you can't have as many spells as casts available to you, that those casters tend to be cheaper-ish, to a point that they probably wouldn't be if you assume they had access to a good selection of realm spells.
That makes sense.
All right, what time is it? 4:47. Should we wrap up at 5?
Sure.
All right. Let's see what's good one.
Good a point as any.
What are you hoping will still be revealed in the Lumineth line? That's just the next one on the list.
Oh, I want him to bring back the bird towing the boat in the sky.
Yeah, right?
That thing is amazing and should be in armies again.
That could be the airline one, right?
And it's totally on brand for them. It's perfect, and it's a newish model too. It's not even that old.
That's a good one.
I don't know. If they end up cutting that entirely, I might just buy one because I think it looks really cool.
You could put dwarves on it.
Yeah, we'll find a reason.
Could you make elf KO with that?
You need a lot of them.
Yeah.
But it could be fun. You need a big one.
I just want more better than beast-like models.
So elves have the coolest beast models, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I really like the White Lion line of high elves that were. It could be fun. So a nod to them somewhere.
So you're focused on bringing back hey, there's some of the high elf stuff that why did it get squatted?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't need exactly White Lions to come back, but I liked that look. And so something that makes me think about that would be cool. Or what were those? The dragon cavalry.
Dragon Knights? Yeah.
Yeah, those were super cool looking,
Dragon
and
Princess,
something that's
right?
evocative of them would be really cool.
I want an elf on a Stardrake, because I feel like if there's any other race that would get a Stardrake, it would be this one, and I want a different pose Stardrake.
You don't like the one that has serious spine problems?
I want to like it more than I do.
Sure.
Also, I want elves riding dragons, because I'm
No, I get you. Elves, Red, and Dragons. Into it.
anyone else? Do the rest of you just not care? Whatever. Stupid Minotaur heads.
Elves.
I'm happy with everything they've done, so I just want to see more of it.
Yeah.
I was
They've
super
lost
happy
me.
with what they showed.
They've lost me already on new elves.
I mean, it's perfect for all of my Slanesh conversions that are coming up. Just keep on feeding me armies that I can use to convert into other armies. Thanks, Gita.
All right.
I'd like something, the aesthetic of I like the Lothran Seaguard shields.
Okay.
That'd be something cool to bring back. I also like the idea of them standing at the edge of their island and being the first wall of defense of the land. There's something cool about that idea that I feel like if they are the Realm Lords, they should have what is their front line unit? Who's standing at the Realm Gate?
So they're Haitian, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're Haitian.
At least the Realm of Light. They're Realm of Light.
Hishin?
Yeah. Hishin.
Thank you.
Can we please just stop using dumb proper nouns? It's the Realm of Light.
Okay, so here's exactly what I was talking about before, right? There was an old line of high elves that we all really love and just basically want to see that back.
Yeah,
They've
yep.
given us something completely different and objectively worse, and we're going to kind of convince ourselves that we kind of like this new thing as long as it nods a little bit to that old stuff we like, whereas we should just come out and say, this is garbage.
No. I mean, keep on putting out armies that other people don't like, so they'll sell super cheap, so I can use them for conversions. It's fine. I love it. Keep rolling.
I get what you're saying, Tom. I think that like even if it's not the old high elves, I'm a sucker for elves that aren't whipping each other constantly. So
That
and
is
like this
indeed-
is the first non-villain elf race, which is odd, but still going for it. Still liking it because it's the first non-villain elf race, even if it's not what we had before.
Okay.
There
I
are
really-
some really objectionable models. I'm not gonna. The pantaloons on Techless are extremely off-putting to me. I have to be like, why? Like in an age where you stopped putting mustaches on all of your humans, why are there pantaloons?
Oh no, they kept those mustaches.
Yeah, they're all on Stormcast now. So I
Really?
don't know where you saw that. Yeah. It is the
Really?
stupidest thing about Stormcast. Is,
Amazing.
oh, yeah, I've got.
But they all
I've
have
got a
heads.
mustache
Or they all have helmets.
No?
All right. I would think when you're like soul body, you stop growing facial hair.
Yeah, but under that helmet is a glorious
facial hair.
mustache. Yeah.
All right.
I swear, like generic '70s porn music plays every time they remove their helmets.
I do love the way that the Stormcast women have like cool hipster haircuts.
Oh
Yeah, they
That's
do
like
have haircuts. That's
shaved
right.
bits and like cool, yeah.
All right, this is a fun one. Who would you
It's like,
cast
move on.
as Sigmar and Techless in an Age of Sigmar movie?
Ooh, how good a movie is this going to be?
Yeah.
T-
What's the
It's up to you.
Techless would be Steve Buscemi. Skinny little weakling, like nerdy guy.
Oh my god.
Hello,
That is
fellow
awful.
kids.
Oh, now I both do and don't want to see that movie.
Oh man, that's a tough one. I feel like, oh man, because I always think of Sigmar as this like big jolly Bavarian guy who's sad that all of his German hat friends are dead. And he's like, yes, I brought you to this mortal realms, and now I will teach you about pretzels. But I don't know who I would cast that could deliver that kind of role.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah, he probably would do it. He'd do a good job.
Steve Buscemi and Will Ferrell. There we go.
There we go.
Oh man.
Done.
I went in a totally different direction. 'Cause I was thinking Russell Crowe for Sigmar and Hugo Weaving for Techless. And I know the Hugo Weaving one is lame, but like that's who I think of.
Russell
For,
Crowe would make
Techless is not that badass.
a very good. Russell Crowe would make a very good Sigmar in like
Right?
a straight movie. Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Because,
agree
like-
with that.
just be like, fuck all of you, vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll see you in Elysium. That's that.
Because otherwise you'd be doing like Chuck Norris as Sigmar, just on the jokes alone.
Who
Right.
was Who was Loki in the Marvel movies? What's that
Oh,
name?
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah, he'd be a good. He
He would be a good Techless. That's a good one. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's better.
So I was
He would be
thinking
a good Techless.
Cumberbatch actually for Techless.
Jeez.
Uh-huh.
If you were
Okay.
gonna- if you were
You guys
gonna go
better calm
solid.
down. You're gonna get Tiffany all hot and bothered over here with them. You said
Give
two
me
of her
like the Techless
favorites in the
model.
last.
She's like, oh, Benedict Cumberbatch. Give me those pantaloons.
Remember, yeah, exactly. I was going to say, remembering whoever we casted this has to wear ridiculous pants.
Oh, then I think we're back to Loki.
Yeah, I think he would pull it off.
He can pull it off.
He'd make it look good.
Tiffany,
Yeah,
I'll
do
be
you-
like,
do
Have
you
I
agree?
underestimated ridiculous pantaloons my whole life?
Tiffany,
All right, here's a good
agrees.
one. Cast for us the Grand Marshal of the Apocalypse himself, who's playing the bad
Mark
guy.
out?
Oh yeah, who's the bad
Yeah.
guy?
Ooh,
Still Russell Crowe.
No.
He plays both roles.
Oh no, Johnny Depp.
No, God no.
No, you know who it is? What's
No.
the guy's name? It's got to be Arnold Vosloo, the guy who's the
Okay.
mummy.
Arnold Vosloo.
As
Arnold
Archaon?
Vosloo. That guy,
Vosloo.
he just looks like a straight up badass.
I feel like someone like Gerard Butler could do a good Archeon.
Oh,
like-
this guy.
Right?
You know who?
Vosloo.
You know who
Yeah.
actually? Okay, so the guy I think who could pull him off and actually pull him off if it was a serious movie, Tom Hardy. Tom
That's
Hardy
true.
would kill as Archaon.
Oh,
God.
I'm googling all these people. I have I can picture the face, but I don't know the name. The
Bane.
guy who played the
If he
killer.
does Bane
Old Country
voice
for
for
Old Men.
Archeon. Oh, that
Who's
guy?
the Who's the bad guy in
You
Old
hit
Country
my
for Old Men?
point.
Or No Country for Old Men?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
No.
Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem.
Oh yeah, he's an amazing actor too.
Yeah, he could be a good Archeon. He would make the role believable.
And he'd do it in that weird accent. It'd be awesome.
But I was going to say Tom Hardy doing Bane voice Archeon would be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Did he play Bane? Is that
Yeah.
because he doesn't
Yeah.
look particularly evil in the Google search I've just done.
He's a really good actor. He can kind of meld himself into whatever role he wants.
Yeah, he could do it.
He actually played Picard in Star Trek, of all the things. Star
What?
Trek Generations, he's Picard's clone.
Do you mean Nemesis?
Nemesis, yeah, that one.
Oh, yeah, he was good.
Yeah, he's an insanely good actor.
Wow, he lost a lot of weight compared to the Bane role.
I think it was the other way around.
Oh, okay. Cool. Last question. Let's see. What's two? What do you want from the Sons of Behemoth line?
Ooh.
Giants.
More
I think solid monstrous infantry. As we discussed earlier, right?
Yeah, I like it.
I think it'd be fun to have, like, in the way that Imperial Knights have failed to do time and time again, some kind of big monster only army that's well balanced and interesting to fight against.
That's
So,
what I assume it's
baseball
going to be.
Raiders.
Yeah.
That's well balanced and fun to fight against. No, I don't know.
So there's a Discord for Mox, and there's some dude in there that's really excited about this upcoming army.
Okay.
And
yeah.
he's got a lot of, I don't know his name, so I feel really bad because I can't I'm
I'm not
It's
even
just
sure
like
who it
people
is.
who go to Mox have a Discord. Like, what's
Yeah.
the? Okay.
For people who go to Mox.
And so he's made this amazing conversion of this giant who's also an archer. Now, I don't think he's going to hit anything, but the fact that he tried to be an archer just fills me with joy. And that's what I want out of that line, which is a bunch of dumb giants walking around, causing mayhem, and just it would be amazing to see them kind of almost have the old idea that goblins used to have, where
Lay down.
half the time they may hurt themselves, but for the most part, they are just gonna trudge into you and just say goodbye to half your army in one turn, kind of thing. Almost glass cannoning would be amazing from them.
I'd like a lot
Go
of
ahead.
yeah. I'd say it'd be really fun if they get a lot of personality in the kits, in the way that man-eaters were supposed to be for the ogres, where
Yeah,
they all have these cool themes and
I just want to be able to stuff everything in sacks over and over and over.
Pants. As long as
Pants.
there's a stuff in pants rule,
Yeah.
then I'm good.
if I can, it'd be really interesting if they had differing sizes and they develop the lore a little bit more too, right? So all the giants we see are just little baby giants, and then there's one really big giant that instead of a 5 wounds or less model, they can stuff a 10 wound model in their pants, right? There's so much they could work with there.
All right. Here's what I want. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I'm not gonna get what I want. Behemoth is, if you Google the word, what is that? Behemoth.
mm-hmm.
I don't know how to spell it. Is a very close to the spelling of a Babylonian dragon god, not
Yep.
Not necessarily just a giant.
Yep.
They're all gonna be dragons. That's what I
Dragon
want.
ogres.
Yep. Basically, they're all gonna be dragon ogres, kind of thing.
I
Just
mean,
like
I'm fine with that.
I would like a Shaggoth that I would like Kolek Suneater.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Kolek Sunleader in the army is basically what it's gonna be.
That'd be fantastic.
Barring that, I want them to have clothing. If they're humanoid, actual pants. Not putting stuff in pants. That's fine. Have pants.
Have pants to put stuff in.
Have pants on.
That's disappointing.
You asked too much. You asked too much.
Too high a bar. All right, I'm gonna hop off and make dinner. This is fun, everyone.
Me too.
Yeah, this was
Alright.
good.
See y'all.
See you guys.
Oh, okay. Bye, everybody. That was kind of abrupt.
We said we were going to end at 5, so it's right.
Yeah, it's 5. Yeah,
I
get out
heard
of
that
here.
someone say something about that.
Quite sudden, but
Yeah, no,
You guys can
also
keep
fun.
going. I'm out of questions. I'm out of content. I gotta eat.
And it's over.
Yeah,
Quite
it's over.
sudden and
Yeah,
also
I'll finish up this color and then I'll stop it. Yeah.
Sounds good. I don't need to jump off like immediately, but I'm still you still got me for at least the inking on 10 more skinks here real quick.
Yeah.
I guess I should show off what I got, right? What I got done, I suppose, because I had to switch out of the iPad. So
My video quality settings are
yeah,
not helping right now. It looks like a lot of them. There's a lot of gores.
lots and lots of gores and more gores of the best kind.
Nice.
And then pseudo
Nice.
stone. So I gotta get this on a base so I can make it look like a herdstone for when I only run my Zangors like an idiot.
Nice. I still have your Weber grill over here.
Oh, sweet. I cannot wait for that. I'm gonna call it as well.
This has
Alright.
been good. I got aside from the eye outline, I've got 20 skinks basically done.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, they started base coated, which is a 3-step base coat, so that was helpful.
I just have 1 or 2 tiny details and get the metallics done, and then these guys will be done. So
Nice.
pretty good progress here too.
Yeah, I can't wait to see those.
Yeah. Be fun to play them.
Yeah.
They
Stupid.
kicked my ass the other day.
Yeah, that's what you said, right?
In
Julia played
Underworld?
them. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
They attack twice, which is brutal. You don't think of it as being that bad, and then your guys are dead.
Oh yeah, rolling twice. Yeah, that's big. I haven't even read their cards, so I don't really know. But yeah.
Yeah. Basically, anytime you make a regular attack action, then the wolf gets to go.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So you're definitely incentivized to do a lot of charges.
How
You're
many wounds
incentivized-
do they have each?
They're like 4 wounds each.
Okay, yeah, that's
So they're,
That's what
they're
I
beefy.
thought. Yeah. 4-wound models are pretty tough. Like it usually takes 2 hits, or one
Yeah.
really big hit from one really all-in model. So
Yeah.
so yeah, that's pretty good.
A lot of times it's been my strategy is finding ways to buff a guy so that you could do 4 damage in a hit.
Yeah.
I have a few guys. Drax Skewer can manage it if he's trying hard enough.
Which one's that?
Drax Skewer, he's the Sky Warden of the Temple
Oh,
of
okay.
Stratoteers.
I haven't played with or against those guys yet, so I don't know.
Well, surprise! They stand back and shoot you.
Yeah, as you would expect.
Ricky, have you played against with the elf, or not elf, the Sylvanet?
I think I played against them when Matt was playing them because we were still playing. He was still playing it when those came out, and yeah.
The Beastgrave ones,
No, not the
No,
elves.
not
the
the
Sylvanet.
Karnathi.
Yeah, they're good. I think they have a pretty good, variation in model count too. Yeah.
Well, I finally picked up that game, and after I get through getting Warcry down, that's next on the list of actually reading through it. So I'm stoked for all of this BS going on around the world to end, as I'm sure
Yeah.
everybody else is. But
Yeah.
No, man, I love staying at home and never doing anything.
oh god, I don't know how you can do this. I'm actually like super thankful that we're considered an essential industry, and I have to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, stay safe, man. Obviously.
Oh, of course.
No, fuck you. Get sick.
I stopped playing Nerdle, all right? So.
Yeah.
I know. Are we gonna go to like events now, and every time somebody throws down Nurgle, are we gonna be like, "Ooh, too soon, bro, too soon"?
Yeah, right. Take that every home.
That'll be the new joke. Is yeah. So that was all your fault.
Right.
Thanks for the high placement for way longer than it should have been.
Except for fucking Lee Bachman stealing my thunder.
Are you are you still up at You're still right above me, right?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. In the overall?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you're right.
But he came in and grabbed number 1 KO. He's beating me by 6 points.
That bastard.
I know. He came in really good at a 2-dayer, and that's been like the deciding factor between our scores all season so far.
Nice. The only thing I have is that I just got 4 games in.
Yeah. Well,
So, yeah.
you get there, but one of them's bound to go your way.
I mean, getting second in the little RTT helps quite a bit.
Yeah, I bet.
So,
Did those scores finally go up and everything? You
Oh,
figured
yeah.
it out?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is that manual step that I forgot about, so I remembered.
Oh, as soon as you said that, I went and pinged them. I was
Yeah.
like, hey guys, there's one more thing. And they're like, oh yeah, it's done.
Just gonna go in and hit a button. Which I didn't, yeah. Alright, come on. God. Models are eternally covered in cat hair.
Oh, kitty.
Yeah, I have that problem too. They just they get into the primer.
Yeah, and you're always just like picking them off, like, what is.
Yeah.
I just need to keep a dedicated set of tweezers on my painting tray here.
Yeah, I do. I have a little parasite right there. Ready to pluck stuff out with.
Yeah, maybe was it what are those, the beard trimmer scissors? A set of those. It is amazing the sort of cross section of tools you used for this hobby.
Yeah. And the makeshift stuff that you end up just using all the time.
Yeah, I feel like I get a lot of tools that are makeup tools and artist tools and construction tools. Like, I have hard opinions on super glue, different
Yes.
kinds of glues.
Everybody gives you that funny look. It's like, oh, I can't get this to work. Oh, yeah, just this one thing. Yep. That'll work. Okay, cool. How do you know this?
It's a long. Just leave it.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Just try it out. Use it. Thank me. No explanation needed.
Yeah. Alrighty. Hit those skinks. Let me hit the light. You see them? Oh, they're black skinks on black bases on a black tray, so no one's gonna be able to see them anyway.
Why bother?
Yeah, I need to get. Well, they're all supposed to be red-eyed chameleon, or red-eyed crocodile skinks. I don't know if that's in focus or not. It's probably not in focus at all.
No.
Yeah, they're black on a black base.
Yeah. We'll have to. I think what we're gonna have to do when we're back to normal. Actually, I think most people could do it with their cell phones. Is start taking pictures that we can actually post somewhere. Show our make a gallery like on AOS Seattle or something.
Yeah, that'll be good.
But yeah, they all got the little rib around the eye. That's I need to get a new fine detail brush for that bad boy.
I still gotta open the ones that I won up at Dark Tower and actually use them. I have like one brush that I pulled out, and I'm like, nah, I'm just gonna ruin this. That's all I do is ruin my brushes.
Alright, let's see. I think these guys are. I gotta do. I guess their eyes. I'll do some red eyes on them. But other than that, these guys are done.
Nice.
That was actually pretty quick, right?
Yeah, just a couple paint sessions.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to do the teeth on this guy too. It's like, yeah, that's fine. I'll get his teeth painted in. But thanks for. Let's see. There. I think you guys can see that now. Well, everybody who did tune in, thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you all later. Stay healthy.
Yeah.